Big Weather's Big Recipes, sponsored by First Flight Federal Credit Union.
Hey guys, Big Weather with another edition of Big Recipes, and today I decided to have a little mostaccioli, a little Italian, and I thought it would be good to have some bread with that. So I got this recipe sent to me a while back. We're gonna make some easy focaccia bread. Got a pound of cheddar, got a shredder. Let's get to shredding. You can see it makes a really big bowl. Now you could use pre-shredded cheese if you want to. I use it a lot, but they do put a bit of a, I don't know if it's cornstarch or powder, it seems like, on some of it to keep it from sticking in the bag. So if you're using it and you just want that cheese flavor, you can get the pre-shredded, you could rinse it, or it literally took me 2 minutes to shred the block of cheese. Let's move on. Next thing we have is a small white onion, and we need to chop this finely. One finely chopped onion, yellow onion. Ooh, it's a potent one too. My eyes are starting to tear. Let's start building our focaccia. All right, so we got you're supposed to use 9 by 13 pan. This is probably a 10 by 14, but it'll work. First thing we're gonna do is we got mayonnaise. Of course, since we live in North Carolina, rocking some Dukes. And we're gonna do about a tablespoon right in the middle of the pan. We're gonna grease our whole pan with this cheese. Looks pretty good. Next, we're gonna add about a half a cup of that shredded cheddar cheese. And we're gonna spread this around. It's okay. Next, I've got one pizza crust. Just standard old classic refrigerated pizza crust. The recipe calls for spreading it over the cheese. Not sure how I'm going to do this, but there we go. I want to stretch it. Doesn't have to be perfect. This would be a fun one to make with your kids because it's kind of messy and doesn't have to be perfect, and maybe it introduces them to a new flavor. Okay, so we got our pizza dough in there. Now we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise on top of the focaccia. We're going to spread that around. We're gonna make dimples in this. So you can just press your fingers in. Remember, mayonnaise is just oil, so if you wanna do a reduced fat one, you could. I'm just trying the recipe as it was sent to me. All right, got our dimples in there. Let me get a new glove. Now we're gonna add about a cup of the shredded cheddar. Again, doesn't have to be exact. Looks pretty uniform on our cheese spread. Next, we need about 2 tablespoons of the onion sprinkled on top. 1, 2. Again, I'm not really being exact. That's part of the fun. Good enough. To this, we're going to add a 4-ounce jar of pimentos, drained. So I already had it in my calendar and drained off the pimento juice. You could do 2 ounces. I like pimentos, so I'm upping it a little bit. Actually, 2 ounces is gonna be enough. There needs to be 2 ounces left of the pimentos, and you can make pimento cheese spread. I've got a recipe I'll link in the bio. Next, the recipe calls for about a half a teaspoon of paprika. I don't feel like trying to measure it and sprinkle it, and so I'm just going to measure with my heart. Put a little bit of paprika on there. That looks like it could be about a half a teaspoon. And then it calls for a quarter teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. It's got a quarter teaspoon, so we're just going to sprinkle that in spots. Looks ready. This is going to go in the oven 425 for about 20 minutes. We'll check it. All right, I had this in at 425 for 20 minutes. That may have been a little too long. You can see it's kind of burned on the edges. So I would say check it at 15 minutes. But I think the middle still looks pretty good. So we're going to cut our pieces out of there and give her a taste. So here we go. I got a little pasta there, and there's the focaccia. Let's give it a taste, see how it tastes. Oh, look at the bottom. The bottom is all crunchy too. Look good. It's so good. You get the roasted onion and the pimento. Saltiness from the cheddar. It'd be really good, as I mentioned, with my pimento cheese dip. I'll make sure and link that recipe in the bio. Thank you for this recipe, this focaccia bread. As for me, that foodily.